If you're an app developer, you know there's that one question, the one that's always kind of buzzing around in the back of your mind while you're coding, designing, and dreaming up your next launch. Well, today, we are going to tackle that question head on.
This is it. This is the big one, right? It's probably the most common question we hear from developers everywhere. Whether you're just starting out or you're running a whole studio, how much can you really make?
Okay, so obviously, there isn't just one magic number I can give you that fits everyone. But don't worry, the answer isn't some big secret. Think of it more like an equation. And once you get the variables, you can start to see what's actually possible for your own app. So, let's break that equation down.
First things first, we've got to understand the engine that actually drives your revenue. You can think of it as a formula for success, and once you see the different parts, you'll know exactly which levers you can pull to really maximize your app's potential.
It pretty much boils down to these three things. First up, your revenue model. This is your foundation. Are you going all in on ads, focusing on in-app purchases, or mixing it up with a hybrid approach? That choice decides how you earn. Then you've got your app's popularity. This is all about reach. How many people are actually downloading and using your app? And third, and this is crucial, user engagement. What are those users doing in your app? Are they coming back every day? How long are they sticking around? This, right here, is where the real value gets created.
And this quote from Vincent Lin at Cyberlink just nails it. It perfectly shows how those last 2 points, popularity and engagement, are totally linked. See, the right ad strategy doesn't just make you money. It can actually make your app stickier, It can keep users coming back for more. It's a cycle where revenue and engagement can actually feed each other.
All right, enough theory. The best way to really wrap your head around this equation is to see it in action. So let's look at how this all plays out with some real-world stories from developers who are out there using AdMob right now, and yep, we've got the real numbers to prove it.
Our first story starts small, and honestly, it's super inspiring for any indie dev out there. This is about a guy named Rich Woods, who decided to build a simple app in his spare time, just for fun.
Now, the thing that should jump out at you on this slide is that number in the investment column, a big fat 0. He built his app, Cherry Chaser Slot Machine, with absolutely no upfront cash. This is awesome proof that you don't need a huge budget to get in the game.
And the result? $100 a day. And get this, that wasn't after a year of grinding. That was just 1 month after he launched it. For a project he built in his spare time with a $0 budget, that just shows you the power of a cool idea on the right platform.
Okay, so that's the solo developer story. But what happens when you scale up and build a whole studio around this idea? Let's take a look at Balloon Island, a company that has absolutely turned making free games into a serious, profitable business. Their strategy just checks all the boxes we talked about. They've got massive popularity. We're talking millions and millions of downloads. And they keep people coming back because they're obsessed with a great user experience. Things like super smooth gameplay and daily challenges that actually feel rewarding. That's what drives that incredible user engagement.
And the payoff for that strategy? $2,000 every single day. This is what's possible when you combine a huge user base with really, really high engagement. The numbers can get pretty wild. But hey, success isn't just about making the next viral game that gets millions of downloads overnight. There's a totally different path that can be just as profitable. And that brings us to a developer named Szymon Kimishevsky and his perfect example of a hybrid monetization strategy. His app is a utility app simply called Blood Pressure. It's got over 1 million installs, which is awesome. But look closely at that monetization column. He's using both ads and in-app purchases. This is so smart because it lets him earn revenue from all his users, not just the small percentage who are willing to pay for premium features. And from just this one app, he was pulling in a really consistent $700 to $850 every single month. It's a fantastic example of building a steady, reliable income stream by using that kind of mixed approach.
And now, for what might be our most dramatic case study, a story that really truly shows the raw power of just adding ads into an existing app. Let's talk about HeroCraft. They decided to run a little experiment. What would happen if they plugged AdMob into their already successful free app?
So first, let's set the stage here. Their game, Farm Frenzy, was already a huge hit. We're talking over 10 million downloads, and it was making good money through in-app purchases. The big question was, could ads add to that income, or would it just annoy their users and hurt the business?
The results were, well, they were staggering. Look at this. In the first 4 months, with only in-app purchases, they made $20,000. Not bad. But in the next 4 months, after they added AdMob, that number rocketed up to almost $59,000. That is a more than 200% increase in revenue. All they did was add AdMob to what they were already doing. Incredible.
So we've looked at 4 different developers, 4 different kinds of apps, and 4 really different success stories. But if you look closely, there is a super clear common thread running through all of them. So let's boil everything we've just learned down into one simple, powerful formula.
At the end of the day, it all comes down to this. This is the simple truth. This is the engine that's going to drive your earnings. The more popular your app gets, and the more deeply your users engage with it, the higher your revenue potential becomes. It doesn't matter if you're making $100 a day or $2,000 a day. This is the fundamental relationship that makes it all happen.
So there you have it. The potential is absolutely real, and the path to get there is pretty clear. It all comes back to one thing: building something that people love to use and that keeps them coming back. You have the formula, so the only question left is, what are you going to build with it?